What happened to the mech genre? Did studios just forget some of the core things that make mecha fun? Now studios don't even make the robots look cool. Especially this trend of giant 3D mechs, which looks awful and jarring, instead of the well-blended 2D to 3D ratio. Aldnoah.Zero is a victim of this type of animation, and if that was the only problem, this show could have actually been pretty good. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ocean Planet. My name is WK, and today we're going to be talking about Aldnoah.Zero. Let's dive in. Aldnoah.Zero is an anime created by Olympus Knight and A1 Pictures. It was directed by Steve Aoki, Aoki, and the person credited for the first episode is Gen Urobuchi. I'm going to try and describe the plot of Aldnoah.Zero to you now. Bring out your notepads and take some notes. Once upon a time, Aldnoah.Zero is all based on this giant feud between the Verse Empire and Earth. After some plot points that aren't really explained too well, a princess from the Verse Empire says, "Hey, I want to make peace with the Earth," then her car blows up. Then the Verse Martian people want war and blow up stuff. Humans get very sad and decide to rise up and fight, and blah 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 blah. Aldnoah.Zero is no master at storytelling, and each week it's only seemed to get more and more convoluted. Either nothing made sense, or it was spoon-fed to the audience. And since it's so convoluted, plot holes riddle this story. And if it's not plot holes sinking the ship, it's the core of the show, the mechs. Now, I can give credit where credit is due and say that some fights are very well laid out. And since Inaho is basically a less interesting Lelouch, the chess matches of thought between the two civilizations come out alright, but other times it's filled with groans. Now this is where the jarring effect of the 3D mechs come in. Everything looks kind of fake, and yes, I know we're talking about an anime here, but you know what I mean. It just makes the giant robots feel even more clunky than they do. And here's another thing. The Verse Empire is supposed to be this big, imposing threat, with these giant cataphracts as they call their mechs, and these cataphracts are armed heavily and sometimes have stealth, faster speed, or better weapons. The humans have pretty much moving boulders with how slow they are. Why would you run into battle by yourself? Some people are just eager to die, I guess. The only person really capable of doing anything is Inaho, because his mech is orange, which makes it stronger, maybe? Of course, later in the show, and by later I mean second season, everything seems to be on even terms between humans and Verse. But by this time, the previous season left out so many things to be desired that season 2 just can't keep up with the slack that was left. And the season 1 finale left a lot of slack. Personally, by the end of Aldnoah.Zero and its lackluster climax, Aldnoah finishes off pretty strong. I like the ending a lot actually, which is kind of strange because even the end doesn't quite make sense. But I still liked it. Aldnoah.Zero has a phenomenal first episode, a great last episode, and I can't help but think that they made the beginning, the end, and then they filled the show with whatever they could find to try and make it work. To step away from the story for a little bit, I'd like to talk about the characters. 2 of them have character. 1 of them doesn't. None of them are that interesting, but here we go. Inaho is best described as the following. Do you remember that time when you were sick and you had chicken soup and you got those really bland crackers, those saltines, sometimes so bland that you needed water to drink them down? Yeah, those ones. Is Inaho the chicken soup or the crackers? No, I'll wait a second. He's saltine crackers. Inaho is just boring. Demolition D Plus said it the best here. There is nothing wrong with the silent main protagonist, but there is a problem if it is without rhyme or reason. With Inaho, there is no reason. He's robotic and cold due to the plot conveniences, and never truly breaks this lukewarm plane that he stays on. And it sucks because he has the biggest potential to be one of the greatest characters in the show. On the opposite side of the spectrum, Selene, one of the main Verse Empire characters, I feel has too much emotion. Not in a bad way, but for a while, Slane is a very likable character. Then Season 2 happens and he just becomes almost intolerable. It's not because he's the bad guy, but because he reverts to Inaho levels of lukewarmness. The catalyst that holds these two to their beliefs is the princess. This character, right here, is useless. She has kind of good character, but she barely does anything meaningful to the plot. In Season 2, they try and make her more prevalent, and it works to an extent, and it ultimately falls on its face. They could have done a lot more with some of the supporting characters. Like, they had this opportunity to make this show dark if they wanted to, and it's obvious that that's the direction that they were going in. But the side characters are left on the wayside and don't have the opportunity to truly bloom into something compelling. In terms of the animation, you guys know how I feel. Besides the mechs though, Aldnoah.Zero has a pretty nice looking show. Space feels spacey, the ruined Earth looks a little trashy, and the oceans are kinda nice and lush. But then there's the mechs once again, and then like I said, it looks fake. One thing I absolutely loved was the music. The sound is basic and the quality's okay, but every piece of music is beautiful. Both openings are phenomenal, the first one being very choiry and entertaining as a rock ballad. But hands down, my favorite song from the whole show is Opening 2 or And Z. Here, I'll just play the bridge for you. This opening might truly be my favorite opening of the season. It's sad when I look forward more to the opening than the show. Look guys, I've been pretty hard on Aldnoah.Zero, but it's because it's a show that I wanted to like. I want a good mech show again, and Aldnoah.Zero is so close to scratching that itch, but it just doesn't work. It had great potential, and if the studio makes another show, I'll be there to watch. But unfortunately, what we have here is a show that was convoluted, hard to follow, lukewarm, and overall uninteresting. I'm feeling a strong 6 on this one, guys. If you're looking for a show that's either similar or arguably better, I'd go for the aforementioned Code Geass, and I would also go for Eureka 7. Both shows are pretty good when it comes to mechs, and have, in my opinion, a lot more interesting characters. Once again, thank you all for watching, and until next time, keep swimming.